So wake me up.
Hi guys, it's Tony and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video I'm going to be doing a talk through video about travelling alone. I got the idea from Jindy Days, who did a similar kind of video. I'll link her down below. And I just wanted to do this video because many people my age I know travelling, some alone, some with friends, and I just wanted to share some of my tips and experiences as well as some pros and cons about travelling alone. And yeah, I hope you guys all enjoy the video. So one of the cons about travelling alone is that it can be quite lonely and you can get quite homesick. You're in these strange foreign countries where you don't know anyone and it can be quite mentally challenging. I think you need to be quite confident to go and travel alone. I did find when I went travelling alone I got extremely homesick. So yeah, it can be extremely challenging for some people. Another con is that you can get lost in language barriers as well as cultural barriers. You have to be aware of the other people's cultures and make sure that you're respecting their cultures. And it can be quite difficult if someone's yelling at you because you're doing something wrong and disrespectful to their culture. You won't have a clue because of the language barrier. So you need to be aware of these differences and take them into account when you go into these foreign countries. Another con is that these places are big, scary places that you're not used to. You're used to something completely different. And you've also got to be aware of theft. Pickpocketing is huge in those really touristy destination countries. I know in Barcelona, in Spain, it was just the worst. I hated it just because the fear of being pickpocketed, yeah, it just really didn't make me feel good in these big, scary places. Where in New Zealand I can walk down the street, I can leave my wallet somewhere and I know that when I come back it's most likely going to still be there, where in other countries it's not the same. Another con about not just travelling alone but travelling is jet lag. I found that the jet lag was the worst thing for me. It made me so tired. Like the first week, maybe possibly even the first 2 weeks of my travelling, I was just so exhausted and I didn't want to stay out very late and I missed out on a whole lot of opportunities. So if you can conquer that jet lag as quick as you can, it's the best possible thing you could probably do while travelling. Another con about travelling alone is that you can get real lonely and there's no one to take a photo of you. You have to ask some random or someone that you meet to take a photo of you, and I don't know, it just would be nicer if there was someone else there that you knew personally that you could just ask to take a photo of you. Otherwise you're gonna have that awkward, like, you know, hand in the way of the selfie. So anyway, let's talk about some of the pros. One of the first pros is that you get to go anywhere that you want to go. You don't have to worry about taking into anyone else's consideration about where they want to go. You get to go solely where you want to go. So let's say you don't want to go to France at all. You don't have to go to France. You get to pick, when traveling alone, where you want to go especially. And I think that was the best thing I got to do. I got to go to 2 of the main countries I wanted. My dad has a bit of Spanish and my mum has a bit of Portuguese in her, so I've always wanted to go to both Spain and Portugal, and I got to go to those places and it was amazing. Another good pro about travelling alone is you get to meet new people and new friends, and these people are more likely to have the same thing in common with you because they're in the same place and they want to see the same thing as you. And rather than taking a friend, you've got these new friends with these same interests, and so you're also making these new lifelong friends, which is totally awesome as well. Another pro of traveling alone is you don't have to wait on anyone. You don't have to get up early because someone else wants to get up early. You don't have to go to bed later because someone wants to go to bed late. You get to do solely what you want to do. You can wake up whenever you want. You can go see the sunrise. You can go see the sunset. You can do absolutely everything you want, catered to all your specific needs, and it's just so much better that way, I reckon, than having to be under the pressure of someone else on their preferences on what they want to do. Another pro is you gain so much confidence. Like for me, I don't know really what I was thinking. I've never really been alone by myself, away from my family. I've always been with my family and friends, so to be completely alone was completely weird. That now I look back, I see that I've just grown so much confidence and I could do it all over again, even though I did come home early. That we'll get to that later. another pro is that you get to see beautiful places, and I know you can do this with your friends, that you get to see the beautiful places you want to see. I think it's just so much better doing it with the other people who have a strong passion for that as well. And the last pro is freedom. You just get to do whatever you want and you're not tied to anyone else or anything, and it's just amazing. So now I'm just going to talk about some of the tips which I think are really important when you're traveling alone. First tip is make sure that when you're first going to a country, you have a place organized to stay at. So like a bed and breakfast, a hostel, or a motel or a hotel if you want to get fancy. But I just think if you've got it set and you can just get to the airport, catch a taxi, catch a train or catch a bus and go straight to that place, it's so much better than getting there and go, I have nowhere to stay, and then having to find somewhere there from there, because I think it just makes you feel a lot more calmer knowing that you've got somewhere to go and somewhere to sleep, somewhere to shower, somewhere just to relax and sleep, because you're most likely going to be jet lagged. And yeah, so that is a crucial tip, is to have somewhere to stay. I'm not saying you need to have a place stayed for every place of the time you're away, just for like the first few nights that you're there, and possibly the first few nights when you go home, so you're close to the airport or you know where the airport is. And yeah. So step 2 is once you're there and you're traveling on your own, go and try different things. Like, don't just go down the main street, go down the little random street to the side and see what's down there, because if you just take the same road that everyone else is going to be taking, you're just going to see this touristy stuff, which sure, that's cool, but you're not going to see the real thing. So if you take a road somewhere else, you're more likely to see something else and something wonderful that no one else has seen, and you'll just get this whole different customized experience. Tip 3 is to step out of your comfort zone. I know that if you're in France, try snails, try frog legs. Don't just, oh, that looks gross, I'm not going to try that. Just be adventurous and try them, because you're more likely gonna never come across that opportunity again, and you don't want to be the one to think back and be like, oh, I wish I did that, when you didn't. So do adventurous things, be crazy, and just have fun. Step number 4, I think, is don't worry about talking about to people back home. I know that when I was overseas, I remember my boyfriend, he always wanted to talk to me, although I'd think to myself, I don't want to be stuck in a hotel room talking to you when there's this beautiful country outside. Sure, I want to talk to him every night and whatnot, but just not every second of the day. I don't need to be talking to you. If I wanted to do that, I could have just stayed at home. So try not to talk to your family all the time. It is crucial to talk to them, but not all the time, and you want to give yourself time to explore. Tip number 5, if you're not confident in being alone, I do recommend go with someone, because I found that if I had gone with someone, I think it would have been a lot more easier for me. However, I did enjoy being alone in the end, but I think if you're not used to it, I think it would be better to go along with someone. Even if it's someone that you don't really know, it would just be so much better to go with someone, and then you have that support where you don't have to be with them. You can, once you get there and you get comfortable, you can go your separate ways. But at start off, you've got that type of support and you know you can rely on them. I have no idea what tip I'm up to now, but my next tip is to be happy. If you're not happy, if you're not feeling comfortable there, if you're feeling homesick and you think you need to go home, go home. I did that. I have no shame in whatsoever doing that. I think it was the best thing I could possibly do. The countries are never going to run away. They're always going to be there. You can always go back later. I just think that you need to be happy when you're in these countries, and you don't need to run away. I just think you need to be happy in these countries and not to have to feel forced to stay there when you're feeling unpleasant, because you're just not going to enjoy yourself and you're going to look back and you're going to have these negative thoughts. So I think if you want to go home, give it a few years, maybe find another friend to go with, and I just think you'll have such a better time. And even if you do go home, I think once you go back, you'll be able to have so much more confidence in yourself, because that's how I feel. So if I was to go back, I'd have no problem whatsoever now going back. I feel like I can do it, I can conquer it. Since I've come home, and I've been here for like 2 years, I feel like since I've come home, I feel like the next time I go back overseas, possibly by myself, possibly with someone else, I just feel that I'll be able to do it so much better. And my last tip is have fun and cherish everything you do, because it's going to be a lifetime experience and you're going to be able to look back on this. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video of traveling alone. I hope you enjoyed the pros, cons and tips that I've given you. Don't forget to like this video and comment down below any places that you want to go or any experiences that you've had, and don't forget to subscribe, and I shall see you guys next week. See ya!